But let's change tack a bit and check through our commodities market for the current week starting today, which is Tuesday, the first day, of course, twice a week. Let's talk to Atimitope Olugbele, who is a member of the economic think tank at Financial Derivatives Company. Good morning. Good to have you. I'm sure we have a few drumbeats from outside the country and the Brexit and all of that. But again, we can't ignore the fact that South Africa got a bit of a slap on the wrist by Fitch a few days ago.
Yes. So we have a mixed bag of both regional and global warning issues right at the moment. So like you rightly said, the first one on our list is that Fitch downgraded South Africa's credit rating to a BB+. And in investment grading, that's like a suboptimal investment grade, basically. And then on the global side, we have the British pound, slid to a 28-month low, and that, of course, is on Brexit concerns and, you know, the October 31st deadline that is fast approaching. And then Brent is forever a burning issue. So now, currently, Brent is at about $64 per barrel. And then back to the domestic side of things, we have that the Naira is stable at 360 Naira per dollar at the parallel markets. Okay,
if you look at this as the downers and the gainers and the losers, if I want to put it in a stock market balance, looks like the stability in the Naira looks like the only piece of news that looks good. The rest are a little bit negative. Of course, the disorderly Brexit is no good news for the pound. South Africa getting a rate downgrade by Fitch is also not good news. What else is there?
So, like you said, right now, basically our only good news for the day is that the Naira is stable at 360 Naira per dollar at the parallel market. And, I mean, that's what's celebrating. That's good news.
Because Central Bank keep defending the Naira with everything they've got.
Yes, they've been defending the Naira. So far in second half of the year, we have about $1 billion worth of intervention in the Forex market. And, you know, that is, you know, in the summer period, that's good because, you know, from summer travel demand and the Hajj that, you know, the Muslims are going for. So that's good that our Naira is still stable despite all of these, you know, Forex demand pressures. And then to the bad news, the downers, like you said, we have the Fitch rating of the South Africa's credit rating. And that's no surprise. I mean, South Africa currently is having South Africa and Nigeria, they're very similar. So one way in which they're similar is South Africa currently has a lot of state-owned assets that are in need of government bailout. So we have the ESCOM.
But the money is not there, really.
Exactly.
And investors want their money, the debtors want their money.
Exactly. So it's really the ESCOM, the power utility of South Africa is really bleeding the government dry, basically. And, you know, we have that their financial statements coming out today, and they're expecting it in the billions of rands.
It's going to be the biggest. What ESCOM will release today, according to one news report, is going to be the largest deficit loss ever by any company in South Africa. The most industrialized economy on the continent. It's gone very big bad news coming out of ESCOM in South Africa today. They are electricity giants. That's one story. So if we put that together, and I'm sure you are the a conference yesterday, which organization put together, and thank you guys for that stakeholders dialogue on behalf of everyone at FDC. That was quite insightful. When we begin to look at the downside risks are not looking really good for the global growth. And two of the largest economies on the continent are not pulling their weight, Nigeria and South Africa.
It just shows the part that good governance has to play. It's, you know, it's beyond the fancy policies of, you know, the fancy trade agreements we're putting together. It's all good, it's all well and good, but without good governance, you know, your policies are not going to be so effective.
Without infrastructure.
Exactly, without your infrastructure in place, without funding, I mean, take South Africa, for example. They are very industrialized, an industrialized country, and, you know, because of the power cuts they had the previous quarter, we saw that their economy contracted by at least 3%. And, you know, they're very dependent on power. So it just shows the part of...
When an economy like South Africa contracts by about 3%, it's as big and as hard as you may think it can get. 3% is not... Nigeria is still doing 1.9% as a GDP. If you dip 3%, then you're seriously underwater.
Exactly. The investors are not happy right now.
I'm sure people in South Africa are not happy.
And they take their security issues to all the security concerns that have been raised in the past months, it's not very good news for South
It's not
Africa.
good news. But let's check in through. We're ending the month tomorrow, which is the month of July. Technically 7 months of the first year. Take us through the domestic price movement. Coming back home now to our what market prices are looking like for some of the agro products, locally speaking.
So the first good news for the average consumer, was about the inflation coming down to an 11-month low, 11.22% last month. And, you know, with our recent market survey, another one is due tomorrow, but with the one we had at the end of June, yes, we saw that certain commodities like tomatoes, pepper, the prices increased to as high as 20,000 naira, I think, for a bag of tomatoes. And, you know, these price increases, they are not good for the average consumer. But with the start of the harvest season, we expect the influx of these commodities to hit the markets and for these prices to come down as we approach the end of the year.
So looking at those prices, I don't like those red indicators for my rice, my flour, my tomatoes and pepper. If I have rice, tomato and pepper, I have a meal on my table already.
So they are very essential commodities that are showing red right now. They're very essential to the Nigerian household. But I mean, as we approach the start of the harvest season, we expect, you know, the supply to be enough for every Nigerian, and so these prices could come down in the coming months.
Could come down. Could. I like it. You say you economists, something else about.
Carefully.
You put it and say, well, it's a could.
Yes,
it's qualified.
It's always a could because you know anything can happen.
Yeah, logistics is still an issue anyway.
Yes,
we're still battling that.
We still have logistics.
And everyone should understand that the Lagos Ibadan highway, the construction in front of us here in Channels Television. Is going to get a little bit very naughty in the days ahead. What I saw in the news this morning was that they're going to suspend it. Julius Berger will suspend the engine until the some religious activities, and all of that. Once that is over, it's going to be very difficult getting in and out of Lagos using this Lagos Ibadan highway, the Lagos end of it. So it's going to be very difficult, everyone. We have a very small river close to us, but I'm not too sure if I ever use a boat or know how to paddle one. I'll think about that. Put on a life jacket. I need to get one very quickly. I may have to come to the office through the Ogun River all the way back there and just come up back here if you know where we are. So it's just going to be a little bit. So we need to let everyone know that when this construction is going on, excuse me, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get goods and services in Lagos, and out of Lagos. And then we may have to do this perhaps via Skype. Have a great day. Let's enjoy this while it lasts. Okay, until the road's fixed. One big road that has to get fixed. Thank you, everyone, for fixing it. It's taken several decades to get it fixed. Let's fix this break. We'll be right back. We're talking about the milk production in Nigeria. What do we do with the latest central bank policy? We'll talk to one or two folks in the industry.